WMAL.
Well, hello, and a very pleasant good evening to you, and welcome to the Bill Mayhugh Show. I'm going to be here until 6 o'clock in the morning, as Felix said. We will be here to play some music for you, talk with Larry Krebs about his police fire beat, check the sports news, let you hear from the folks that make it all possible, and see if we can't play something that'll please you. Occasional rain, followed by partial clearing later. I think the partial clearing has begun. Tomorrow, Wednesday, variable cloudiness and colder, with a high near 40. Clear and very cold Wednesday night. Thursday's going to be mostly sunny and continued cold. Okay. We're going to start with piano player tonight. Not just your ordinary run-of-the-mill piano player. One who's inspired so many different players over the years. Here is Art Tatum. That is called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and it's out of a collection by Art Tatum. 12 minutes past 1 on the Bill Mayhugh Show at WMAL. McKay Chevrolet is at 3509 University Drive in Fairfax. McKay has been serving the Washington area since 1956. And what a great collection of automobiles they have. New cars, okay used cars, a truck department, a body shop service department. Oh, yeah. In fact, they service all GM cars, not only Chevrolets. And when you start thinking about a new automobile, come see Jim McKay and the people who've worked with him. They've worked with him a very long time. I mean, Jim's been in it since '56, successfully. And that's a long time. 3509 University Drive in Fairfax. It's about 1.5 miles west of Fairfax Circle. Jim McKay. Have you seen the new Citation? That's the economy car that Chevy produced this year. Everybody wants one of those. You ought to call me. Well, don't call McKay. Come and drive one. That's the best idea. Test drive any of the new 1980 Chevrolets. I think you're going to be very, very pleased. McKay, in Fairfax. A little profit dealer with the big smile at 3509 University Drive in Fairfax, Virginia. See, there's going to be a free lecture. During 1979, the planets Saturn and Jupiter were seen close up for the first time by Voyager and Pioneer spacecraft. The information relayed back to Earth was startling. Learn about the latest discoveries of these giant planets at a free lecture at the Air and Space Museum on Wednesday, January 23rd at 8 p.m. Call 381-6264 for more details. 381-6264. Pretty Thing now, by Frank Sinatra. That's Frank Sinatra, and Frank's recording a Why Try to Change Me Now. I said I'd give you the ball scores in the sports news. Bullets got beat again tonight. Cleveland defeated Washington 114-91. Boston over Houston 112-106. Chicago 145. Detroit 131. San Antonio beat San Diego 129-109. Kansas City 101. Atlanta 89. Utah 127. Milwaukee 122. In the National Hockey League, Washington 5, Winnipeg 4, so the Caps win theirs. New York Islanders 2, Montreal 1. Toronto beat Atlanta 4-2. Philadelphia beat St. Louis 3-1. At the end of the second, Los Angeles 4, the Rangers 3. Vancouver 2, Colorado 1. That's at the end of the second. You have that message over there from Chevy Chase, don't you? Good.
Some people dream up plans. Some people plan their dreams.
But everyone knows that you can save for those if you have the vision and you know what it means to be a little bit ahead of the game so you can do what you want to do. Well, at Chevy Chase Savings and Loan, your savings will mean the most to you.
Chevy Chase Savings and Loan is pleased to offer a delicious new dividend. When you deposit $500, you can start a collection of custom cookware free. This exclusive cookware is lined with Silverstone, the miracle nonstick service from DuPont. Every time you add to your account, you can buy more cookware at reduced prices. So not only will your savings look beautiful, but your kitchen as well.
At Chevy Chase Savings and Loan, your savings will mean the most to you.
We're about 10 and a half away from the 1:30 news on the Bill Mayhugh Show.
Atlantic Coast Conference basketball tonight here on WMAL. The Maryland Terrapins against the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. The Terps now 5-1, lead the ACC. They are 13-2 overall for the season. They got to get revenge from the earlier season loss to North Carolina State. They will try to do that tonight. Airtime 6:55. Here with Lefty's pregame comments. I'm Johnny Holiday. We'll have the play-by-play at 7 o'clock right here on WMAL AM 63, the voice of the Terps.
All right, John. Occasional rain, followed by partial clearing later tonight, low about 30. Wednesday, some cloudiness and colder. High Wednesday about 40, clear and very cold Wednesday night. Then some sunshine on Thursday, but continued cold. So, chance of precipitation, 10% Wednesday, near 0 Wednesday night, and it should have stopped raining for this evening. I think it probably has. It's 7 Celsius, which is 45 degrees. Humidity's 96%, and the wind's blowing from the north at 5 an hour. And Larry Krebs joins us now with his first report of the evening. Larry?
Good morning, Bill. And to start with, our main item at this particular moment, we've got a working fire at Wisconsin NP as in Paul Streets, northwest. That's right at the intersection, we understand, and first units on the scene from the fire department said they had heavy fire showing. So we're responding over there at that location at this time. The rest of the city, we've had several robbery calls, a couple shootings. The last one located at 1800, the 18th and P Streets, northwest, also in the same area. A man shot in the leg at that location in an attempt robbery. Another man found at 19th and Q Street that said he was in a fight downtown. He doesn't know who jumped him, but beaten up quite severely, and he's been taken to Howard University Hospital from that location. One minor bus accident, 26th and Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, and a little bit of fog in a couple of the outlying areas from the rain that we did have. Rain at this particular moment has ceased. Streets still wet, though. So that's it for the moment, Bill, and we'll be back with you as soon as we get over to that fire and see what they have there.
All right, Larry, thank you. The fire's at the corner of Wisconsin and P Street Northwest.
Correct.
Okay, Larry, thank you.
Right, Bill.
WMAL AM 63 thanks you for answering listener surveys precisely and completely.
These audience surveys are important because they tell us what's important to you, our listeners. WMAL urges you to continue to record your listening habits accurately.
That's Shirley Bassey screaming at you, and that's called Taking a Chance on Love. Dancing Crab is at 4611 Wisconsin Avenue. It's right at the corner of Wisconsin Avenue and Brandywine Street, and the Dancing Crab offers us seafood. Things like hard-shell crab and shrimp and oysters and clams and scallops and spiced shrimp and fried shrimp and steamers and crab cake and corn on the cob and coleslaw and French fries. At the Dancing Crab, from 11 in the morning to 11 at night, they offer you a great variety of seafood. Monday night is Seafood Explorers Night, with a complete dinner that includes soup or chowder, a half a lobster, Alaskan king crab, shrimp, oysters, clams, fresh fish, scallops, corn on the cob, coleslaw, roll, and butter. And that Monday night dinner that I just mentioned is only $9.95 per person. Tuesday and Thursday they have the crab feast. Wednesday night they have a shrimp feast. So tomorrow evening will be shrimp feast night. That's the night you can have all the spiced shrimp and steamers and oysters and clams you can consume for $9.95 per person. Banquet facilities are available. All the items can be packed for carry-out, all the food items, that is. And they have your favorite beverages, including pitchers of ice-cold draft beer. I think it makes a lot of sense to come to the Dancing Crab any time, whether it's a feast night or not. The Crab, right at the corner of Wisconsin and Brandywine Streets, northwest. The rain's going to end. It'll be cloudy and colder Wednesday and sunny on Thursday. Kennedy Institute, 801 Buchanan Street Northeast, announces continuing education classes for mentally handicapped adults. Register now for classes in reading, English, math, current events, personal cooking, parenting, and many other subjects. Evening classes meet from 4 o'clock to 8:30 p.m. For more information, call 529-8173. That's Kennedy Institute. It's located right behind Providence Hospital, and the phone number is 529-8173. Here's Maynard Ferguson's recording of the theme from Star Trek. The theme from Star Trek played for you by Maynard Ferguson. We're down to the 1:30 mark in the news.
You've got it all, WMAL.
The 1:30 news, UN Secretary General Kurt Waldheim says that an inquiry commission to hear Iranian grievances against the Shah is part of a package deal to secure the release of the American hostages in Tehran. Before leaving New Delhi for Pakistan, Waldheim told reporters there are details to be worked out, including the timing of the hostages' release. He said the U.S. wants to release upon announcement of the Commission probe, while Iran would delay release of the captives until after the panel has completed its work. On Tuesday, officials said the Carter administration has postponed plans to impose new economic sanctions against Iran until the returns are in from Friday's presidential elections. Meanwhile, an American minister in Tehran said he sensed a breakthrough in the stalemate, and the militants holding the hostages accused U.S. press attaché Barry Rosen of being a spy. A Tehran radio broadcast quoted the militants as saying, "When Rosen is put on trial, it will expose the conspiracies hatched by America in Iran." House Speaker Tip O'Neill says he hopes to see a resolution passed by Friday that calls for American athletes to stay home if the Summer Olympics are held in Moscow. The second session of the 96th Congress opened Tuesday to nearly unanimous congressional support for such a resolution. One dissenter, Assistant Senate Minority Leader Ted Stevens of Alaska, accused the president of using the Soviet military drive into Afghanistan to obscure the continued deadlock over the Americans held captive in Iran. Carter addresses Congress Wednesday night in his fourth State of the Union message. That'll be at 9 o'clock, and you will hear that here on this radio station. A delegation of top State Department officials is reportedly heading for Pakistan this week to discuss arms sales to that Afghan neighbor. On Tuesday, administration sources revealed that thousands of Soviet bureaucrats had moved into Afghanistan to run the pro-Moscow government, and Soviet tanks were reported within 35 miles of Pakistan's border. A gun battle erupted Tuesday as some 100,000 leftist protesters marched through El Salvador's capital city of San Salvador. Witnesses say at least 20 people were killed, but there are conflicting reports about who started the shooting. The leftist protest is the stiffest challenge so far to the 3-month-old civilian military junta ruling the nation. Israel's defense minister, Ezer Weizmann, traveled to Cairo Tuesday to supervise another pullback of Israeli troops from the Sinai. After meeting with Egyptian President Sadat, he said talks are continuing to break the deadlock on a Palestinian autonomy plan. The woman who burst into Senator Edward Kennedy's Capitol Hill office last fall brandishing a hunting knife has been formally indicted by a federal grand jury in Washington. Suzanne Osgood faces assault charges that carry a maximum 10-year prison term. And the friends and associates of Supreme Court Justice William O. Douglas are keeping vigil by his flag-draped coffin here in Washington. Funeral services for the 81-year-old Douglas will be held in the morning. WMAL's Larry Krebs tells us fire equipment is on the scene at the corner of Wisconsin Avenue and P Street Northwest, where a fire is in progress. The WMAL weather station report is that we'll have variable cloudiness and colder weather on Wednesday, high only up around 40, going to be clear and very cold Wednesday night. Thursday will be mostly sunny and continued cold. Rain ought to have stopped now here in the Washington area. It is 7 Celsius and cloudy, that's 45 degrees, humidity's 96%, and the wind's blowing from the north at 5 miles an hour. We'll have more news for you at 2 o'clock, bulletins at once, and Larry to cover the police fire beat with us through the night.
WMAL AM 63, Washington.
In case you missed the sports, the Washington Caps defeated Winnipeg 5-4 in the Hockey League, and the Cleveland basketball team beat the Washington Bullets 114-91. This is Basie. That's a Count Basie band when Jimmy Rushing was the vocalist with the band. And Pennies from Heaven came out back about 1927-28. The song did. The record came out in the late 30s. Had dinner over at the Portofino this evening. Yeah, got to sit and chat with Pilar Micheli for a little while. You know, Pilar and Sergio are the two who own and operate and run the Portofino in Arlington, the Portofino at Bryce Mountain, and the Ferenzi in Bethesda. Boy, oh boy, the Ferenzi and the Portofino, 2 award-winning restaurants, no question about that. Nice to see Giorgio this evening. He's over there greeting everyone, welcoming and supervising. What do we have? Well, I started with a little fettuccine Alfredo. You knew I'd do that. Then had a little veal Sorrentino, I think is what it was. And a little veal marsala, and there was a lasagna ordered, and there was a stuffed breast of chicken. Was that good? Well, everything's good. And you know, sometime you ought to try the minestrone soup. Yeah. Well, these 2 restaurants, you see, take great pride in offering you, first off, very pleasant surroundings for your dining, whether it's luncheon or dinner time. And then they offer you food, lovingly prepared, I might add. Northern Italian-style cooking. Portofino is at 526 South 23rd Street in Arlington. It's right down near Crystal City, just off Jeff Davis Highway. Parking, too. And the Ferenzi is in the Linden Hill Hotel at 5400 Pooks Hill Road in Bethesda, just inside the Beltway off Rockville Pike. Monday through Fridays they serve lunch. 7 evenings a week they serve dinner at the Portofino. 6 evenings a week at the Ferenzi. Will you try it? I certainly hope so. Oh, and don't forget when you go up to Bryce skiing, there's a Portofino there for you every Friday and Saturday evenings. Some great food, and you're going to love them.
I remember sitting on the front
I wonder sometimes if singers get around to equating drama with volume or intensity with noise. Yeah, David, that's a good word, melodrama. I never quite understood that. She didn't always sing quite that loud, did she? In this record I played earlier by Shirley Bassey, Taking a Chance on Love, and late in her career, Judy Garland. Remember? Volume. Huh. Wonder how it'd be if we did that here. Is that dramatic enough? Hi, you're... Oh, never mind. All right. You have a message over there. Is there any... Do it quietly. Huh? I'd like that.
This is Gene King for your Better Business Bureau. Have you poison-proofed your home lately? Well, if you haven't, you should. Why? Because medicines, insect sprays, furniture polishes, turpentine, and many other household products are the most frequent causes of accidental poisoning. And the following is a checklist of steps you should take in order to prevent such accidents. Be sure and keep household products and medicines out of the reach of children, preferably in a locked cabinet or closet. Store medicines separately from other household products and keep them in their original containers. Make sure all products are properly labeled and read the labels before you use them. Clean your medicine cabinet periodically. Get rid of all the old medicines. Avoid taking medicines in the presence of children because they often want to imitate adults. And it's a good idea to buy household substances which are available in child-resistant packaging. This has been a consumer tip from your Better Business Bureau.
Now, here's Earl Hines. La-da-da-da-dee-da. Isn't that pretty? Ooh, called A Cottage for Sale. We'll play that all the way through for you in a moment. Larry Krebs down at Wisconsin and P Street at that fire with a report now. Larry, come in.
Good morning, Bill. And the fire actually is closer to Q Street. It's in the block between P and Q, the 1500 block of Wisconsin. Little clothing store, men and women's clothing, called Precious and Few Limited. Lone occupant, the owner of the establishment, living up over the top of the business. He escaped, no problems, no injuries to him. Heavy smoke in the upper portion of the building. The footman on the beat here, the police officer, had checked this building just about 10 to 12 minutes before the fire was discovered. And in his checking the doors, he said he saw no smoke in the building, no nothing of any type. Walked down further 2 blocks and checking the other doors, and a scout car coming northbound saw heavy smoke from the building just as he got about a half a block away, and before he could get any further, there was flame coming out the front window. So the total store itself, all the clothing in it, just totally destroyed. Traffic-wise, everything is being detoured at the upper portion of Q Street. Q Street splits itself. It has a drop of about 200 feet in between the intersection. So as you're coming toward downtown, you'll have to detour off to your right hand as you're coming that direction. If you're coming uptown, up Wisconsin Avenue, you'll be detoured at O Street at that portion. Fire equipment being on Q, being on Wisconsin, and on P Street itself. So they're going to be here for quite some time yet. Again, no injuries, fortunately. The individual that lives up over the store, who owns the store itself, escaped with no problems. And that's it for the moment from the fire here, Bill, in the 1500 block of Wisconsin Avenue Northwest.
All right, Larry, thank you. We'll talk with you a bit later on.
Will do, sir.
Now let me go back and play that record through for you that we started by Earl Father Hines. It's a very good tenor saxophone player, Buddy Johnson, and A Cottage for Sale. Yeah, that is nice. Tenor saxophone is Buddy Johnson there with Earl Father Hines, and A Cottage for Sale is the name of it. WMAL's weather station says we'll have partial clearing the rest of this morning. Low about 30 tonight. Wednesday, variable cloudiness and colder with a high near 40. Clear and very cold Wednesday night. Now, it's going to be mostly sunny and continued cold on Thursday. It's 45 degrees at the moment.
What have you got this week on WMAL AM 63? You've got On Stage Tonight entertainment reports with Tom Gager, Monday through Saturday at 11:45. You've got Washington's best-loved carpool, Trumbull and Core, weekdays 3 to 7. And regular WMAL weather station reports, come rain or shine.
You've got it all, WMAL AM 63.
Top-seeded Martina Navratilova was an easy winner Tuesday night. That's in the first-round match at a women's tennis tournament in Chicago. Navratilova defeated two-time Wimbledon champ Terry Holliday. No. Navratilova is a two-time Wimbledon champ, and she defeated Terry Holliday 6-1, 6-1. Other first-round winners included third-seeded Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley and 14-year-old Andrea Jaeger, playing in her first tournament as a pro. Goolagong, the defending champion, trounced Stacey Margolin 6-1, 6-2. Jaeger defeated Kathy May Teacher 6-3, 6-3. Bill Mayhugh at WMAL in Washington from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every morning. And here is Steve Lawrence.
Is gone.
See where Harold Blackwell, who is currently in West Side Story, will visit Tom Gager in the morning at 11:05. Be a guest with Tom. Harlan is the one who sings Somewhere in that show. It's a pretty tune, isn't it? And she's a native Washingtonian. Nice to have her back in town under these circumstances, isn't it? But she's excited, playing her hometown. Harlan Blackwell will be Tom Gager's guest in the morning at 11:05 here on WMAL. Tomorrow evening, 9 o'clock, the President makes a State of the Union message, and we'll carry it live on this station. We'll do that Duke Ellington treatment of San Francisco. Left my heart in. Lawrence Brown, Johnny Hodges, all the guys from the Ellington Band, and I left my heart in San Francisco. It's 2 in the morning, 2 a.m. on the Bill Mayhugh Show at WMAL, Washington, D.C.
News on the hour from American Information Radio. Tim O'Donnell reporting. ABC News has learned that President Carter will propose a NATO-style...